All right, good evening. I'm Executive Assistant Chief Larry Satterwhite over Patrol Operations. Tonight with me is Commander James Dell over Northeast Station. I have Assistant Chief Thomas Harden over Patrol Region 1, and I have Lieutenant Larry Croson with me. We're on the scene out here at 11,000 Chiefs on an officer-involved shooting. It involves two of our officers and one male suspect. Information is still preliminary, but this is what we know. At 7:46 p.m. tonight, we had a call. It dropped as a robbery just occurred at 11131 Lyra Street, which is not in the same neighborhood, just around the corner. As our officers arrived and started talking to a female complainant, she stated that she and her boyfriend had been involved in a disturbance and that he was in her vehicle. Specifically what she stated was that he had been acting strange from last night and today. And today when they went to pick her kids up in her vehicle that he was driving, that he started accusing her of having somebody else in the vehicle, and he had a firearm with him and started pointing the gun at her small children. They're not his children. He started pointing the gun and threatening in a threatening way towards her children. Said that she became very scared and managed to get him to stop, and she got the kids out of the vehicle because she was afraid, and then he left and she called the police. While the officer was taking her information on that incident and putting out a description of the vehicle, the suspect actually came driving back by the house where they were in the vehicle. Seeing the officer, he immediately spun out, taking off around the corner. The officer put the information out that he had just spun around the corner. The officer got in behind to find him. The officer was coming northbound on Cheeves, catching up to the suspect. At the same time, another officer was coming to check by with him and was coming southbound on Cheeves. As the officer was coming southbound on Cheeves, the suspect was headed straight for him, and the suspect hit him in a head-on collision, totaling his vehicle and the suspect's vehicle. Both of those vehicles were back up the way. The officer was able to back the vehicle, his chop up, and managed to exit the vehicle and started giving voice commands to the suspect. The suspect came out of the vehicle he was in with a firearm in a threatening manner, and officers engaged in a shooting against the suspect. The suspect began running westbound on Heath, which is the next street up, and the officers involved and continued to involve in the shooting. The suspect still had his firearm with him, and the suspect went on the ground about 50 feet up westbound on Heath from Cheeves right here. The officers caught up to the suspect and removed the firearm from him, and then immediately began with first aid. The other officer that was behind him, the original officer that responded to the scene and initially took the information, also engaged in the shooting, and he had already put out that the suspect was armed, and so he shot from a different direction towards the suspect. Once the suspect was down, everything ceased, and the officers did move up and try to get him in custody to get him help. Even during that time, the suspect was still resistant, still wanting the gun, and still wanting to engage the police officers that were trying to get him handcuffed so then they can get him help. I can tell you that after they did get him secured, it took some time. They immediately went into full life-saving mode with multiple chest seals and tourniquets trying to save this man's life before he was transported to the hospital. Sadly, the suspect did succumb to his injuries at the hospital. Our officer that was involved in the head-on collision, after then being involved in the shooting and then going up and helping to get the suspect secured, then started feeling the effects of the head-on collision. He was evaluated, and he has also been transported to Memorial Hermann Hospital. Right now, word is he is in stable condition. I did talk to him before he left the scene, and he was alert then, but they're going to be checking him out fully because it was a pretty significant car crash, and I'll be going to the hospital to follow up with him after this. Um, Both of our officers one of our officers has 6 years on, white male officer. The other officer that went to the hospital is just off probation. He's only been on just over a year, white male, that I can tell. Suspect is a light-skinned, black or African-American male that went down. I can tell you that what will happen is, as per our policy, both officers will be on administrative duties going forward, as is our policy, and while we conduct our investigation. And then we will go from there to check on them. And then, of course, also according to policy, within 30 days, we will be submitting, we will have this video, our officer-involved shootings body-worn cameras that detail this incident will be posted out, as we always do for all of our OISs. So with that, are there any questions?
First of all, I'm sorry that there were injuries in this and also a death, first and foremost. Was anyone else in the community or anything hurt by perhaps stray bullets or anything like that?
We have no information of that at this time. We have already canvassed the neighborhood. We've done it twice. We're going to do it a third time. We want to make sure that everybody else is okay. This was multiple shots fired, and so we want to make sure that everyone is okay in the neighborhood. So far, everyone that we've been able to reach and talk to has been fine, but we will do that again because we just want to make sure that no one's injured. We're also looking for potential other property damage. Every round that's fired is going to go somewhere, so we're looking for those things. Obviously, anybody in the public that has any more information about this incident, please reach out to us and let us know. And we will certainly take their information and as a part of the investigation. Our suspect at this time, I can't tell that he has anything beyond possibly in terms of warrants, beyond some city stuff, but he does have a criminal record, and that's all I'll say about that, but he does have a criminal record. But that was not why we were trying to stop him. We were trying to stop him for the aggravated assault, deadly weapon, where he pointed the firearm at the complainant's children.
I believe you said both officers fired. Is it clear which one?
It is not. It's not at this time. Multiple rounds fired. That's part of the investigation. It'll just take some time.
I'm sorry, it's hard for me to hear. You said he fired multiple rounds, officer?
No, what I know our officers fired. I do not know at this time if the suspect fired. He was armed, and he did maintain that firearm all the way through. As the officers, actually, when they approached him, he was still moving, but as they approached him, they managed to then remove the firearm so then they could get him in custody and render aid. And again, he was still fighting even up to that time, pretty hard, not willing to comply, and actually wanted to continue the fight.
We spoke with witnesses who mentioned that there was perhaps that he was acting very erratically, perhaps drug use or involved.
I don't know at this time. The complainant, they're involved in a relationship. I don't know the length of time that they've been involved. Again, the children are not his, according to the complainant. That's the information I have right now. So I do not know how long they've been involved in a relationship. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
How young are the children? We heard they were
Small children, very dangerous situation. So very unfortunate. Yeah, they're just above toddlers, is what it looks like to me.
Does it appear he was under the influence? You said he was acting strange.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know if he could be impaired by some type of narcotic substance or alcohol, but I just don't know that information. Not at this time. We'll know more later. So that's all I have on that.
How many shots he had fired?
I never said. I do not know that he actually fired any rounds. That's still part of the investigation. What we have so far in terms of the video that we've been able to see so far, I can't tell that he fired any rounds. Doesn't mean he didn't, because there were multiple shots fired. I just don't know at this time.
He ran from the officer. He had already been hit.
I don't know that. I don't know that. Not at this time. Any other questions? No? All right. Thank you very much.